This one right here is Canadian singer-songwriter and apparently cover artist extraordinaire Feist with a song called Inside and Out. And in case you recognize the melody a little bit, that's because that is a cover of the Bee Gees' Love You Inside Out. Speaking of the Bee Gees, my family has been a huge fan of their music, or huge fans of their music. And they are going to release a biopic about the trio. Of course, I am very excited about this. My folks are very excited about this. Barry Gibb, the only surviving big bro, has just recently announced that there will, in fact, be a biopic, but it could be, it could keep us waiting for 2 years. Which is kind of like, okay, if it's 2 years away, that means that it's in production right now, right? Or maybe barely about to get into production. You can't be talking about this now and having us anticipate for 2 years. It's not going to be a Marvel movie. I mean, that long of a period to anticipate for something is only going to set the bar way too high. But then again, it's the Bee Gees. I'm excited that they have anything coming out. Right now we have a studio guest, or someone who's joined us over the phone line, and I talked about this just about 10 minutes ago. It's a conversation with the International Trade Institute, the ITI in Kaohsiung. They have the International Business Administration Program at ITI right now, and we have the English Language Program Coordinator who's called us over the phone line to have a little chat over what's going on there. His name is Chris Schorr, and let's welcome Chris to ICRT. Hello.
Good afternoon, Joey.
Good afternoon. I'm going to have to start the conversation by asking, are you a fan of Bee Gees music?
Actually, to be honest, it was playing in my car yesterday.
No way.
But then I was worried that my passenger might be upset, so I switched it to something else.
I'm guessing your passenger is of a younger generation of music.
Yes, I didn't want to age myself too badly.
That's fine, but Chris, you can stay if you're a fan of Bee Gees. I'm okay with that. We'll actually have this conversation with you. Otherwise, I'm going to have to hang up. But anyway, so you've been in Taiwan for quite some time. You're living in Kaohsiung right now, right?
Yes. I've been in Taiwan for about 19, coming up on 19 years.
19?
Yeah.
Wow, that's close to 2 decades of being in Taiwan.
Yeah, no, I was hoping I could say 2 decades, but I guess we'll have to do this again next year.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to, so you can have a chance to gloat about the fact that you've been here for 20 years. My goodness, how are you getting used to Taiwan's weather pattern, like humidity, for example, at this time of the year?
Well, I lived in the middle of Taiwan in Zhonghua for 7 years, so there it was nice and mild. Okay. Then moved to Hsinchu, where it was just windy in the winter, and Kaohsiung, everybody says, oh no, but the summer is so hot. It's not hotter, it's just hot for longer. And because I'm South African, I kind of like the sunny weather. Okay. Even though I do need air conditioning most of the year.
Of course, so, South Africa is a lot drier, right?
That's it. The humidity, like I said earlier, it's as if from Sunday to Monday, suddenly someone turned a switch on the humidity in Kaohsiung.
So you've gone from being born and raised in South Africa, and then all of a sudden thrown into a wet and moist country, and I think you're adapting rather well, to be honest, if you've been here for 19 years.
Yes, I think I can manage the seasons. But then again, like I said, air conditioning does help, and the mountain areas are nice and high and a little bit cooler, so it's nice to get out of the city.
Where in South Africa are you from, by the way? Joburg or Cape Town?
No. Originally from Cape Town.
Okay.
So there is I am a little bit familiar with the humidity sometimes. Yeah. But the one thing I like about Taiwan is the ocean water is a lot warmer. I'm not a big fan of the Atlantic Ocean temperature. Yeah, that's what I hear. I've been planning a trip to South Africa, to Cape Town, actually, a couple of years ago before the pandemic hit, and I do hear that it could get pretty chilly when the coastal wind hits you. Yeah. As you go and check out the penguins. I go on holiday most Christmases, and even though it's summer, like I sometimes can go 2 weeks without actually going into the water. Like I'll swim once so that I can answer the question, did you swim? Yeah. Just so you can get that out of the way, right? Yeah.
But there's something that is, I would say, a common thread between Taiwan and South Africa is that we're both countries that speak a lot of different dialects. And when it comes to languages and internationalism or globalism, being global, that is what ITI is all about, the International Trade Institute. And you've been in Kaohsiung for quite a few years. So today we're going to talk about this program called the International Business Administration Program at ITI. So can you tell us the what of it? Like, what is it? How long has it been since you guys have been working on this program?
Okay. So the International Business Administration Program, or we can shorten it to just IBAP, it's a postgraduate business training program. It's been running for over 30 years, and originally it was designed to be an MBA replacement course and focused on preparing Taiwanese students and citizens for the international workplace. Mm-hmm. So the program focuses on like business and finance and marketing skills, but then also has a very strong business English component to teach them business English communication skills. Okay. So students get a little bit more confident to communicate in an international setting. And it's not just English and business. There are also a couple of variations to allow students to focus on different areas. So, for example, English, like I mentioned, but also Japanese or Southeast Asian languages. And sometimes we also have students who choose a more business-focused course. Okay. So there's really some variety to choose from.
Certainly trade, when it comes to commerce and trade, language is a very important tool to have in your toolkit. So I'm sure you guys, for the most part, are very language-focused, but just FYI, for any students who want to be more business-focused, of course, you can choose for those courses as well. Now, the program, I'm guessing, is mainly open to Taiwanese students?
Yes. So essentially, it's open to any Taiwanese citizens who have finished either an undergraduate degree at university or at a vocational institute. Okay. Now, we get students from quite a wide range of backgrounds. Some have a science and engineering background, and they're maybe looking to add some additional business and English skills. Then we also have social science or language majors whose main focus, what they want to get out is the business courses, as well as more targeted business English. And then we even have some students who already finished an MBA, but they're maybe looking for additional practical English training. Okay. And sometimes we also have people who have maybe worked for 2 or 3 years, and they feel like there's a gap in their skill set, and then they choose ITI for that intensive training.
Okay, so in a business setting, if you've been working for a couple of years and you feel like there are a certain aspect of the skill set that you can hone a little better, you can come to ITI for that.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
And I'm guessing, it sounds like you have students who are on all walks of life. I'm guessing all age groups as well. So going to ITI is not just an academic progress, but also I'm sure you can make some very helpful connections as well, right?
No, definitely. It's the focus is very much on practical applicability. Okay. And so, if we look at how that kind of skill is recognized in the marketplace, basically the students are able to achieve salary levels similar to MBA graduates, and then they're also able to tie into like a very expansive network of alumni. We have some students who have gone on to become senior managers in companies like Acer or Ford or Quanta Computers and ASUS. So yeah, definitely. In one of my Chinese expressions, I hope I'm not going to butcher, is
let's hear it.
Guanxi, Mayo Guanxi.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
I think definitely the students benefit from having graduates that they can get advice from and who continue to provide some support.
Yeah, one thing I hear a lot in the business world is that you always have to have a mentor, right? You have to someone who kind of teaches you how to do things, and hold your hand into a new field. And as you and your mentor's relationship grow, maybe you can have more mentors who teach you different skill sets, which is very important. And as the world changes, especially in the 21st century, it seems like every couple of years something new comes up. A new way of making money or a new skill set is required in any business setting. The changing environment can be something that I'm sure a lot of students are just racing to catch up with. And as you said, ITI has been around for 30 years, or the IBAP program has been around for 30 years. How are you guys helping the students to, adapt to changing environments?
Okay. Well, I mean, Taiwan really is very different now from, Taiwan is very different now from when ITI started.
Sure.
Even when I joined ITI 11 years ago, it was very different. And I think one of the big changes was the use of mobile communications technology. I started and smartphones were not a thing yet. They were just catching on.
That's right, yeah.
So that kind of aspect of mobile communications has really impacted business correspondence. So even though companies are mainly using emails to keep everybody updated and share information, and also to keep a written record of communications, we've got apps like Line and WhatsApp and Teams that have changed the way in which people want to communicate and also made communication much shorter. So we have to recognize that there are both these areas where communication is taking place, and so we need to prepare our students so that they can write a concise and effective email, but at the same time also show them in what way and when is it appropriate to use these other platforms.
Oh, that is interesting, because you're right. That is something that, for example, I definitely learned after years of experience in a company to figure my way out, figure my way into how to write emails properly, and then now when to use these different forms of communication, like you mentioned, Line, WhatsApp, and in Taiwan, we're a bit old school in terms of name cards. We still use name cards, but a lot of people just use lines nowadays, right?
Yeah. No, but then also at the same time, I think it's technology changes quickly, but I think values and habits tend to change a little bit more slowly.
That's true.
So if you're trying to make a very good professional first impression with someone who's at a senior manager level, it's better and easier to be more polite in the beginning. And once you've established that foundation relationship, then you can figure out what is a suitable level of familiarity and informality that you can achieve in your business writing.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you've made the mistake first to be a little bit too casual, I think it's more difficult to then build up and establish a more formal relationship.
Very true. Every business setting is a little different, and every country that you work in has a very delicate balance of how you should be interacting with people of different levels. So that is one of the things that ITI teaches, and these are things that I think most of us can only learn by experience, but now you have someone who can tell you how to communicate, for example, properly.
Yes, I think it definitely helps that the teachers that we have at ITI, many of them do have business experience or have been in situations like this. So it's not just we're saying, well, this is what you should do. We can actually follow it up with real personal experiences about, the do's and don'ts of communicating via either telephone or email.
Well, there's another thing that's as a tectonic change to the world nowadays, not just technology, but also the pandemic, right? How have you guys been dealing with that in terms of changing or adjusting your curriculum?
Well, this is actually, that's a big thing. I think most people who follow the news would remember early last year when everybody was changing to Zoom.
Yeah.
Taiwan had its own issues with the technology itself, but the truth is, regardless of what the platform is, nobody can travel for business anymore. So presentations and meetings are being done using Microsoft Teams or Google Meet. And so the traditional skills of presentations or negotiations or telephoning, those things are still the foundation, but we need to give students experience in using technology platforms where they can give a virtual presentation where they don't feel nervous being on camera and not really being able to read the visual cues that they normally can from the audience.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because they say one of the biggest fears is public speaking. But now that you remove the hundreds or dozens of people who are sitting in front of you, you have another set of problem, which is you can't read how they're responding to your presentation, eh?
Yes. So in that case, then the student or the presenter really needs to be able to rely on their confidence that they know they're doing a good job. And so the underlying skill and that confidence becomes much more of a factor.
Okay.
So that they can feel like, yes, I'm on the right path, I'm doing the right thing.
Or you could just be like the DJs and have just somehow false confidence and thinking that everybody loves the show while they absolutely hate it. That is what we do best.
I think it takes a whole different skill set and confidence to do what you do.
So you guys have definitely been adjusting your curriculum to these new world or new age problems. Now, you've given us some examples of how the English course have changed to match the time, but can you tell us a bit more about other ways in which ITI is changing to fit in with the changing of business environment at large?
Okay, so the technology isn't just affecting the way that people are doing business or how we communicate, but it's also actually developing a whole new set of tools with which people do business. So they can do better research, they can do better analysis, and they can make better decisions. So ITI is going to launch a new program from July this year, and this program will focus on exposing students to these types of specific tools and concepts in marketing technology like AI, the Internet of Things, AR and VR, and focusing on those kinds of technology applications and skills needed to succeed in that area. And then in addition to that, the students will also receive training in digital marketing and e-commerce and project management and data analysis. And then because the program always has some language support, this will be provided on top of the advanced business English communication skills that I mentioned earlier. So yeah, and then this with more supporting business skills covering finance and how to create a business plan. So it's really it's quite a comprehensive program that we're going to run from our campus in the Taipei World Trade Center.
Oh, okay, I know that one on Xinyi Road, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're pretty excited about this, and I think it'll play a big role in building Taiwan's competitive strengths even more.
So if you're interested, you can actually register online right now. The application ends, I think, somewhere in mid-March, 17th?
Yes,
is that the date?
March 17th, that's correct.
Get more information online at IBAP, that's ibap.iti.org.tw. Now, some of the skill sets that you mentioned are not exclusive to businesses, as in I think entities or establishments like ICRT, a radio station, could definitely use some of those skill sets, such as e-marketing. I'm just wondering, Chris, do you guys do house calls? Would you go to a company to teach their staff?
We do have I think it really relies on the organization to contact us, and then we can see in what way we can help individual organizations better, or whether there is some way in which we can provide some training. We're always looking at developing additional services. For example, we're busy developing our online teaching program.
Right.
And then some large organizations have also come to us with specific requests for additional training depending on their needs.
Okay.
So the needs of people working in ICRT, they might have particular writing needs or particular type of spoken needs. It depends really from organization to organization.
Okay.
What kind of training they need.
Yeah, that's music to my ears. I'm going to have to talk to you off air about this, Chris, a little bit more. But for students, right now you can send in your applications, you can register online, you can learn more about ITI and the International Business Administration Program by going to ibap.iti.org.tw. TW, or in Mandarin, it's 外贸协会, right? ITI, International Trade Institute. Okay, check that out right now. And if you are, I don't know, an employer or a manager listening to this, perhaps ITI can also, like Chris said, help your company in honing some of the skill sets that you think your employees need. So once again, the website is ibap.iti.org.tw. And today we are speaking with someone who's soon to be in Taiwan for 20 years now, the English Language Program Coordinator from Kaohsiung, Chris Schorr. Thank you for joining us on ICRT.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
We'll have to connect next year when you make it to 20, okay?
Okay, let's do that.
Let's take a short break. We'll be right back here on the Midday Show.